for having me.
Yeah, hopefully your day is off to a great start. Let's begin here, though, with the lawsuit, right? Excuse me. Where did you stand in bringing that lawsuit to stop congestion pricing? And do you think it's actually going to make a difference?
I hope so. But the rationale behind it is many people on Staten Island have to commute to Manhattan, for example, already pay a toll on the Verrazano Bridge and the Hugh Carey Tunnel, and now they want to impose another financial burden just to commute to work. And we just think that's a bad policy and will hurt people in the pocketbook. But more importantly, or just as importantly, the study itself, the MTA had to do an environmental assessment pursuant to the federal government. They had to analyze 5 different hazardous pollutants. And in each of those cases, the air quality will get worse for the people of Staten Island. Air pollution will get worse. Respiratory illnesses, chances are, will get worse, asthma, etc. And it will increase traffic. So it's a 3-time loser for the people of Staten Island. And what we're saying is, typically in a policy decision, there are costs and benefits. And with this congestion pricing plan, all there are costs for us and no benefits. And frankly, we don't want to see it happen. So we have no recourse but to seek litigation, and we're probably a few weeks away from that, but we're intent on doing so.
I see. So you plan to file this lawsuit. New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy is launching his own lawsuit. Why sue separately? Is there a benefit to not joining along with New Jersey in their lawsuit?
So that's a great question. Actually, I spoke to the attorney for the state of New Jersey, Randy Mastro. I've known him for 30 years, and we discussed it. And it just seems that New Jersey has a more unique, distinct angle. So we will have to go it alone on Staten Island at this point. I don't see where we can couple it or join their lawsuit. So as a result, we'll just do it. We'll do it independently if necessary. We've already had a number of people who want to be plaintiffs, people who will feel the pain. And once I got to go back to, they are going into this plan knowing full well that it will make air quality worse for the people of Staten Island,
Well, see,
and it will increase traffic.
They argue against that, right? They said that they had the federal environmental impact study came back, and that's why they're moving forward with it, because they got the go-ahead from the federal government. And I did sit down one-on-one with the MTA CEO, Janet Lieber, last week, who said that they are still looking at the options of giving folks in outer boroughs and New Jersey an exemption if they already pay a toll to get into the congestion zone, right? Which would be the Verrazano, Hugh Carey, what you're talking about. If that happens and there's an exemption, would you be okay with it?
Maybe, right? We have to look at, right now, we don't have any cards to play. All we're being told is you're going to accept this. I have no indication whatsoever other than, what you just said, that they may provide an exemption. But we have to deal with the cards we're playing right now. And right now, we have nothing. Right now, we're told you're going to pay more, your air quality is going to get worse, and you're going to get more traffic. So where's the benefit to any of us? And until that happens, we have to proceed, assuming it's not going to happen.
You must feel, like Staten Islanders must feel like they're getting hit in all different directions. So I mean,
and you have, and that's yes, indeed we are, right? And what happens is there are areas in the city that the air quality is already better. You have respiratory illnesses. They track it by hospital stays, emergency room visits, asthma, for example. And these pollutants make those things worse. So there are certain pockets of the city that are already better than Staten Island, and it will get better. We're on average sort of worse in certain pockets, particularly on the North Shore of Staten Island, and it will get worse. So why, in good conscience, could we support it as it exists today?
Well, let's switch gears a little bit. We're talking about the influx of migrants that we've been seeing. The city's been hit really hard, but many times we don't hear about how it's impacting Staten Island. Can you talk about how this migrant crisis has affected your borough?
So we stood up in Staten Island about a year ago. We were the first in the city to say that this right to shelter concept that was meant in a noble way for homeless New Yorkers about 40 years ago to take care of them during the winter months has morphed into this: come from wherever you are around the world, and we're going to put you up in a hotel and feed you. I mean, some people may think that's okay, but we said then, when the first individuals arrived in Staten Island, that the policy was going to be unsustainable. It's going to be unsustainable because we're going to provide an incentive for people to come to New York and stay in hotels and stay in tents. And we said there was going to be a financial burden that was going to take away from schools and parks, not to mention, paying more for living in New York City. So on all those different levels, we said it was unsustainable, and we were mocked. You know, there were people who were welcoming them at these individuals with champagne glasses at the Port Authority bus terminal. And now what's happening is we're already told, as we speak, we're going to get another 100 or so families coming to Staten Island. And Staten Islanders didn't cause this problem. The federal government, with its open borders, caused this problem. And yet, and combine it with the right to shelter law, we are just assuming this drinking out of a fire hose approach. If you walk through Midtown Manhattan, as you all know, it's people laying in the middle of the street. How is this a good policy? How is this making New York City better? I have no clue.
Yeah, well, to be continued on that front. We're simply out of time, but Borough President Fossella, good to have you here, and thank you for your perspective on those issues.
Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.
Okay, you too.